How's it going, folks? Mark from Like Minded Lunatics, and I'm joined with my friend Mike Pizinger. Mike, how are you?
I'm great.
And I'm joined with Neil.
Hello.
Ricky.
Peace.
And this is a special reaction because for our Austin Music TV episode, we did an interview with Mike because, Mike, you are part of Divine Canines. And that's what Miss Whiskey here is from as well. Can you tell our YouTube channel what Divine Canines is about?
We're a local nonprofit volunteer organization based out of Austin, only in Austin. We provide canine therapy services to about 150 places in Austin on a regular basis. And Whiskey is an example of one of those dogs. It's our dogs. We take them through a program to get certified, and we go make people feel better.
And this is a service that you provide to in-need folks here in the Austin area, right?
That's right. Schools, hospitals, hospice, correctional facilities, you name it. We're there.
So folks who desperately do need this assistance.
That's right.
And to help provide funds for this, every year you have an annual fundraiser called Barks for Beers. Can you tell folks, our YouTube audience, kind of what that fundraiser is all about?
That's right. So Barks for Beers is the coolest fundraiser. $30, you get this custom glass. You get a card in it called your passport because it's a passport to a great time. They go on sale April 28th. So April 28th through May 31st. You take this passport, which costs you only $30 plus tax. You get to go to all 30 breweries for a free pour.
That's so awesome. And it's one of the ways that my wife and I found out about a lot of kind of smaller family-owned breweries here in the Austin area. Now, our YouTube channel, some folks live here in Austin, but a lot of folks don't. If folks don't live in Austin and they do feel like supporting Divine Canines, is there a way for them to do that?
Absolutely. DivineCanines.org is our website. There's a donate button. But even if you can't make it for the entire month, you just come for a weekend. You get a great glass, it goes to a good cause, you hit 3 or 4 breweries, it's a great time.
And you may see me, Ricky, Mike, Neil, are you going to be in town at this point?
I don't think I am.
Oh my gosh.
We're working on that timing next year.
I might have to come back.
You might have to come back. But if you come out, folks, you will definitely see some of us. Take a look for the folks who are wearing the Therapy Dog shirts. Those are folks who are associated with the fundraiser.
That's right.
We would love for you to come out. And if you can't, obviously, please go visit their website. Now, one of the things that Mike and I bonded about when we started working together was you are a huge Metallica fan.
I am. I love Metallica. My favorite band.
So just to solidify your bona fides, how long have you been a fan of this band?
You know, I think my turning point was Master of Puppets.
Oh.
And I heard that, and it just sounded like nothing else. The complexity, they have all these interludes. In fact, my wife was talking about, she said, they have all these different pieces. There's like not just the bridge, there's this and there's that. There's this whole different section. And then they, kind of full circle come around like that.
Yep.
And Master of Puppets, for me, just did that in a way that no other band had.
So we have been, I'm so glad you're here.
Mark, you've heard of Metallica, right?
I do believe that I have heard about them just a little bit. Yeah. I do think that I've heard about them. So we've been reacting to all of the new releases from their new album, 72 Seasons. Now, if you're not familiar with that title, has Mike told you what the title of that refers to?
He has not.
I have not.
So 72 Seasons, James Hetfield read a self-help book that talked about 72 seasons of sorrow. And essentially, the argument was positing that the first 72 seasons of life, so essentially, spring, summer, fall, and winter, that's how many seasons there are when you hit 18, 72. Mm-hmm. And the author was positing whether or not those 72 seasons solidify who you will be your entire life, or if you're able to self-actualize and move beyond it. And that entire concept apparently just consumed Hetfield, and this entire album is kind of about that. Are we constrained by the things that we went through in our life, or is there a way for us to move forward?
So sort of nature versus nurture.
Yeah,
argument.
Basically, yeah. Are we locked in, or can we move past it? And so all of the songs that we've reacted to previously to this one have kind of been about that. So this one we're going to react to just literally came out yesterday. So we're filming this on the 22nd. It came out yesterday, the music video for it. This is the last track off of the album, Inamorata. And in Italian, that means a female lover. Inamorata, my pronunciation is terrible, means to love or to be a lover, and Inamorata is a female lover.
Okay.
Isn't it interesting that's the title, but they also have a song, Lux Eterna, which is Latin.
Yes.
Kind of getting some deep stuff.
They are getting some deep stuff. And folks,
Eternal light is that?
it's tradition around here to have a beverage with our Friday night reaction video. And we have to go with a Thirsty Planet Silverback because they're on the Barks for Beer this year.
That's right.
Yep. So, folks, it's you don't have to have an alcoholic beverage, but let's get something in our systems so that we can cheers to the end of the week
Cheers.
and the beginning of a great weekend. So, folks, here we go. Metallica, Inamorata. None of us have seen this video yet.
Lovely.
Loving this animation.
It's gorgeous, right?
Yeah, it's just that there's a touch of Pink Floyd's The Wall about.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah, there definitely is. And a little Terry Gilliam.
Yeah,
I feel like. Oh my God,
I'm
folks.
a Scorpio. There you go.
Pause. Hey, folks, I fixed the video screw up in post, but Neil did such a bang up job of describing what we'd missed, I kept it in. So, back to it. I just realized I don't have the damn screen up. We've got the audio, but I didn't have the screen up.
Okay.
Fucking embarrassing on my part.
Way to go,
I'll
Mark.
tell you, we'll just describe exactly what's happened.
Yep. So we'll do a speed run. Go ahead, Neil.
Okay, so we open
Yep.
with external scenes, clouds, sepia tones. We go down onto a kind of is a fox, is it, or something
Maybe
like
coyote.
that? Yes, that's then decaying away and then being eaten by vultures, pulling it apart, and it's this cell animation style, out of which is born this nasty-looking scorpion.
That's it.
Don't forget the maggots.
Then
The maggots.
Yep.
Which is why we were talking about Pink Floyd earlier, because there's a lot of maggots in Pink
That's
Floyd's
right.
work.
Thank you for saving me. Thank you for saving me. All right, we'll stop before Het's lyrics. Oddly restrained.
Yeah.
The music
I always think it's a little poppy-ish.
kind of is, isn't it?
I kind of dig it.
Yeah, I mean,
Reserved.
there's some strong power chords in there.
Yeah,
100%.
It feels muscular.
Yes, it absolutely does, and it's got that kind of blues backing to me. It feels like a little bit that a little bit, but then it's also like kind of tuned down. I think maybe what do you think,
course,
Rick?
whatever. Yeah.
About half a step.
Yeah,
but
one
boy,
step, two
I'm
steps.
loving it.
I'm kind of surprised that as you said, the sound is a little understated for the images you're watching.
Yeah.
I mean, I expect this to be almost some speed metal kind of thing,
Yeah.
the whole time, just like
Yeah.
double bass going the whole time, just screaming. And so it's like the music. This is one time it's a little lighter than the video content.
Although I think what I will say is that I don't know if you've watched it during the pandemic, Hetfield posted a bunch of videos of them just like doing acoustic versions. He did an acoustic version of Blackened. It made that song way more depressing.
Okay, all right.
Because he slowed it down and it felt like the world had ended already.
Interesting.
And it was like, we're done.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if maybe that's kind of what he's tapping into
Maybe.
here. I don't know. That man should have brought more water.
Or beer.
Yeah.
Or beer.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Beer is a very, very good substitute for water.
That's what
That's
you need
right.
in the desert.
I think that we're
Yes.
in way better situation than he is.
100%.
We have beer.
That's 100%. And I love that that's the Londoner suggestion. You should have had more beer.
Well, again,
You can't have enough beer.
That's right.
we're closing in on 7:00 p.m. his time, so
That's right. we're about to hit the chorus. I'm fascinated by these lyrics so far, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Give us the English professor lesson.
I don't have enough yet. But I do love the fact that it's called Inamorata, which is a female lover, and we're not talking about love at all. We're talking about essentially like sitting and living in my depression. Resentment like a cancer grows, longing for a day I'm free, burn to get you out of me. Like, we've looked at some of the other lyrics on this album, even like in Screaming Suicide and The Sleepwalk and stuff like that, and a lot of it has been about kind of those mind-forged manacles.
Yeah.
About I am trapped because I have trapped myself. And that's what it feels like to me.
There are a lot of miserable relationships, do you know?
Are you familiar with his backstory?
I'm not.
With
no.
Hetfield's backstory? Yeah. Okay, so he grew up in a Christian Science household that eschewed science completely.
Yes. Oh, really?
Completely. And his dad was not necessarily a preacher, but extremely involved in the church. Very involved in the church. So much so that he had to James Hetfield had to sit outside of health classes. He talked about being forced to sit in the hall, not understanding why he wasn't allowed to learn what everybody else was learning. So when he's in like around 12 or 13, and Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, around 12 or 13, his dad leaves. Had no idea why. Just one day, dad is no longer there. And then several years later, his mother comes down with terminal cancer.
Oh, God.
And she refuses all medical treatment.
And to go back, I think it's fair to say that if there was no physical abuse by the father, there was certainly what we would now refer to as the mental, emotional kind of thing. So, yeah, he had a very, very dark childhood.
Yes. And not understanding what his place would be. So his mother gets terminal cancer. She refuses all medical help, obviously just ignores the advice of the medical community, and dies. And then James is left with no parents. And so he has to live with friends. And really about that point, he was in his late teens at that point, if I remember right. That's when he started in a band, and that was literally the only thing that I think saved him.
For sure.
So he was able to take all that misery and express it through the music.
Right. And so there are a ton of songs. The Guy That Failed is probably the most prominent, but there are a ton of songs where it's about demons, but the demons are always metaphors for the things that are holding him back in life. And so one of the things that he's talked about his entire life is trying to, hence the 72 Seasons, can he move past the tragedy of his childhood, which was an enormous tragedy. And so that's what I get from the lyrics from this beginning part.
Okay.
Misery, she needs me. Oh, but I need her more. Misery, she loves me. Oh, but I love her more. Misery, she kills me. Oh, but I end this war. Misery, she fills me. Oh no, but she's not what I'm living for.
My goodness. Yeah, so the misery is the Inamorata.
So I
That's
don't know if
so-
there's ever been any animation of this, but almost the first thing I thought of when I saw this character come on was my mental image, if you're a fan of Stephen King, the Dark Tower series.
Oh, 100%.
Is just this, loner, just the worst condition that you could be in, truly just trying to survive. And again, I don't know if there's any animation out there, but that's what went through my head, is like that Dark Tower, very, very stark.
And the beginning of the line of the gunslinger, the beginning of that novel is the man in black escaped across the desert and the gunslinger followed. Such a great image, simple sentence, and it sets the entire scene.
And if I remember correctly, he wrote that sentence and he didn't come back to that book for at least 10 years. He just thought this was the coolest thing. I have no idea where it's going.
Right. And I love that we're seeing essentially that here as this character is trying to walk across this. And as an English nerd, you can't look at this and not see T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland. Like the lack of water, and water is always a life-giving sustenance. The lack of water indicates that things have gone dramatically wrong.
And we're talking about animation. I wonder if this was conscious, but it looks like the animation is what's called on the twos. Do you want to know what that is?
Yeah,
Every other frame?
It's 2 frames. You shoot 2 frames for every
One.
for
So
one.
it makes it a little hiccupy.
It's so the whole thing's got a slight jerkiness to
So
it.
it's not
Yeah.
undercranking, but it's actually removing frames.
It's because in film, every frame is what you're seeing. So you do a
So you get 24
picture,
frames
24.
a second.
24,
So this,
typically.
this is 12, sort of 12
12
twos.
doubles.
Yeah,
12 doubles.
So it makes it a little hiccupy.
Frame 1 repeated, frame 2 repeated, frame 3 so far until you get to the 1 second.
I'm really glad that you guys picked up on that.
There you
Because
go.
I was going to have to explain this to you, and I'm so glad that.
There you go.
I'm glad we took that
thank you.
burden off
Thank
of
you.
you,
I
Mike.
do some animation for a living, so
There you
my
go.
filmmaking thing is animation. So but I run at 30 frames a second. So.
Gotcha.
You know you're a little screwed when you see fish in the sky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, things have gone really wrong. Or right, depending on your
Yeah,
mindset.
true.
my head. Conversations never said. Magnifying every thought. That familiar pain she brought seeps inside eventually. Misery
I bet there's no water.
You think it's one of those false?
I think it's a mirage.
Mirage.
Yeah.
But the fish just jumped in there, man.
Well, that proves nothing.
This does seem to be like that scene in Beavis and Butthead Do America where they eat the mushrooms and then they trip out and then the Rob Zombie animation starts.
Yep.
That's what it seems like to me.
Sullen, I created you.
I think that line fits, Neil. Sullen, I created you.
Suppose that I could end you too. She waits.
All right, they're layering Hetfield like they really don't do very often.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was thinking he's drinking sand, but I
Oh,
guess I missed
God.
the
Sounds very underrated, isn't it?
I missed the Hetfield stuff.
She waits. Misery.
That is definitely an Apocalypse Now type thing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Misery. She needs me. Oh, but I need her more. Misery.
Eating
Oh,
sand.
he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Loves me. Oh, but I love her more. Misery.
This poor son of a bitch
He's
can't
not
catch
having a good day, is
can't
he?
catch a break.
Kills me. Ooh, but I end this war. Misery. She fills me. Oh no, but she's not what I'm living for. Oh no.
Okay, so do I imagine it, or at the last second, did that snake head morph into that kind of canine-looking creature?
What I'm living for.
Oh, I kind of did.
That
Look
does
at
not.
that.
Does not look like a snake.
No.
Because the eyes would be on the side. That has
Yeah,
that
yeah,
almost kind of
it's got a-
fox or
yeah.
hyena.
It does. You're
Oh,
right.
yeah, look at that.
Yep.
We're going to circle back to the very beginning of.
Then use the same shots every day because that's cheaper.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, from an economical standpoint, just reuse
Such a
it.
low-budget crew. They-
Okay, this is very interesting. This is where you start to use images that match the just sort of in a sort of surrealistic way. I'm just sort of recalling Fantasia.
Yes.
Do you remember that
Yeah.
scene?
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
remembers that scene where they literally just imagine the music as visuals.
Yes.
Like these strings are plucked and they're just vibrations, like sound waves.
Yes.
And I'm getting a little bit of that in this.
Absolutely, it's kind of like those animated EQ type things
Yeah.
that match the music. Yeah, and I love that it's in the form of kind of
Cave paintings.
tribal pictures.
right.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, sort of cave wall.
Yeah.
painting.
Oh, that's not good. Yep, that's not good at all.
Yeah.
Girl in college like her
I did too. Was it the same girl?
She was also an evil bunny.
was not good.
Yeah, mine was a succubus. I'm convinced of it.
Succubus, we've all had them.
Have we?
Yeah.
They're pretty common. I feel like.
They're everywhere,
Yeah.
even in the UK. Well, a lot of them are in the
Yeah.
UK.
But the good news is that's why we ended up with the wives we have now.
100%.
Exactly. I have no
Yep.
problem there.
I'm not saying we stormed through the desert with no water, but we paid our dues.
That's right.
To get to where we need to be. So we'll see if this guy gets rewarded, by toughing it out in the desert.
Let's hope so. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is some Black Sabbath sounding shit right here, isn't it?
Well, and I was
Yeah.
just thinking the guitar solo was really reserved.
Yes.
A lot of long sustain. It was great. It wasn't all the
Yeah, I do like the
Kind of
sustain kind of
Yeah.
note bending.
kind
and
of
stuff.
breathes.
Yeah,
So you were asking about, when I really became a fan was that Master Puppets. And to me, this is one of those, what I'll call anthem kind of Metallica songs.
Yes.
That you can't wait to see them perform live, because all these kind of areas where they can go off and just do some kind of a solo thing. And interesting, even in this video, that's kind of, like I said, Master of Puppets, where they have this whole thing that sounds very classical. In the actual video depiction of this, they go off, like we talked about, the hieroglyphic kind of
Yes.
look. Total departure from what we started with.
yes, absolutely. And I like that the video just adds another artistic dimension to it, and I love that they're able to do that.
And I hadn't even pictured it, but if somebody said, like, what do you think the video to this looks like? It would not have been this.
Nope.
I don't know what it was going to be, but it would not have been this.
Nope, I agree.
She needs me, but I need her more. She loves me, but I love her more. She kills me, but I end this war. She fills me, but she's not what I'm living for. Oh no,
I was wondering when.
Cthulhu,
Or,
whatever.
were the hands supporting, or were they nefarious?
Nice.
Nefarious.
So there's also one little detail that we haven't talked about. I don't know what it means yet. But don't forget, he still has a shackle on one of his ankles and a chain.
Oh, that's
And so
right.
he broke from something. So is this going to come full circle? Like, he was tied to misery and he broke away and now he's got to come back?
Yep.
So we don't know about what that's
I'd
about yet.
forgotten about that.
Yeah.
You're right.
just the other thing is one of the reasons why I particularly love prog music is
Yes.
this I guess is prog metal is like because you can have those moments. So you've had the power chords and you had the big chorus and then the guitar and then you drop down to this very melodic, very gentle, beautiful sequence, and then the gradual building up of the anger again, because you know that this is going to hit some big power chord again, and then off we go again in the next part.
Interlude.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yes.
what they call it.
There's a real rising action to it where
Yeah.
you sit in it and then you come up. Yeah.
And they take you. This kind of music takes you on a journey,
It does.
musical journey.
Yes.
I love it.
It does. That's a match cut, isn't it, Neil?
It's close.
Pretty close?
Yes, close. Yeah.
We get a match cut with the protagonist's eye and then the eye of this Leviathan thing.
Yeah. I like the design. The creature design. It's
100%.
Really lovely.
Really good. Yeah, it kind of rides the line between like classical dragon imagery from kind of Celtic stuff to Lovecraftian horror.
Yes, there's definitely a kind of Cthulhu thing in there.
Yeah.
A bit of maybe the creature from the Black Lagoon with those.
Oh, that's
fans.
true. Yep.
Yeah.
The Gill Man.
That's right. Yeah. So it was a dream, right?
Yeah. Come on, man, you can do it. There's beer at the end of this.
That's right. Yep.
Misery, she needs me. Oh, but I need her more. Misery, she loves me. Oh, but I love her more. Misery, she kills me. Oh, but I end this war. Misery, she fills me. Oh no, but she's not what I'm living for.
Now, as a Metallica fan, I am very impressed with James's range here.
I agree.
I mean, I would never say that James Hetfield has a big range. And I don't think that he would either.
Right.
He is a powerful singer. He is a unique singer, but he's not a Mike Patton. He's not somebody who has a huge range. But I do like that he's playing vocally here
I agree.
with range. There's some high moments. There's some moments where he pulls back. He goes low. Pretty impressive.
I agree, and you're right. He's carrying out some notes, and it's not just like every sentence is ending with that kind of monostep.
Yeah, it's not that.
Right, totally different feel.
There's some vibrato in there. What are you thinking, Rick?
Yeah, I kind of dig it. I was just thinking all that instrumental guitar harmony stuff. You're talking about Master of Puppets. I was like, this is old school Metallica.
Yeah,
It does
That's what
kinda-
I was like when I listened to high school. All those guitar harmony stuff.
yeah. So obviously, Metallica's at a place where they don't have to depend on radio, but
No.
Master of Puppets was one of the songs that was good enough that whatever it is at like 8 or 9 minutes playtime, and so you wonder, like, again, most people don't listen to an FM radio for most of their music.
Right, yep.
But it's like, is this going to be one of those killer songs that really kind of anchors this album? Or is it going to be that one-off because it's like, it's good, but it's really, really too long? Let's just go back to, the other one, Room Full of Mirrors. Or
3-minute.
Right, the Lux Eterna, which is
Lux
like
Eterna.
4.5 or whatever.
Right.
So, what was their longest song, by the way?
Probably Master. Or
think.
one. Is one longer?
this might be longer. This is, I think, close to a little over
This is 11 minutes. Yeah. So I think one is like 7.5.
And yeah,
Master's
I
like
think,
8.
Yeah. So I think this may be the longest one that I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is like a proper prog rock song, you know,
Yeah.
because you know those bands like Yes, they would do an entire album with
yeah.
one song,
Yeah.
or entire side of an album.
The side,
Song,
22 and a half minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a Mahler symphony. It's 2 hours long.
yeah.
Whoa.
And I wonder if this might be a reaction to kind of how music is now created for streaming services and easily consumable. So I have to think that they're in some way, consciously or subconsciously, pushing back against that. Like, this is an entire album. This is not necessarily a concept album, but it's an entire album. You need to listen to the whole thing. The songs are long. Sit down, have a beverage, and really take it
Turn
in.
everything off
Yeah.
and just listen to the music.
Put your goddamn phone down
Right.
and listen to the song.
The days when we would just put the record on and just sit in our
Yes.
room.
Oh yeah.
Bring those back.
It hasn't ended for me, Ricky.
I know it hasn't. I just saw your records earlier.
It hasn't ended.
The love interests turned up.
The Inamorata. Yeah.
Michelangelo thing going
That's
on
what
here.
I was thinking as well. The
Wow.
reaching out.
There's the Sistine Chapel.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's not why I'm living. She's not why I'm living. She's not what I'm living for.
And the seasons are flipping.
Yeah, it looked like.
Box.
Yeah.
So we saw this shot earlier, by the way. So they did
They did
re-release
re-release
it.
money.
it, yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Well, that was epic.
Wow.
So, two thoughts. One is when the female figure came in, and I was looking closely. I was hoping that they were going to show a lower body of him to see, is that shackle still on there? Like,
Right.
was she the shackle? And they didn't show that. The other thing is when the fox kind of comes full circle again. I was wondering if maybe the metaphor was he was going to step into a trap, and that would have been that shackle. And I thought, okay, the vultures are there, there's bait.
Right.
And that's and the shackle was just the human form of this fox getting stuck in a trap. But it didn't happen. So that means I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
It was a good theory.
It was good theory.
I,
It just
I mean, maybe there could be a director's cut, and you could be the director.
6 more beers.
Six
it'll make
more.
Perfect sense. You're going to say Mike was so right.
Let's get the animation software out.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do.
So ahead of his time.
Flash animation.
He must have been in the studio with Hetfield when they were directing this.
Yeah. I'm so here's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
You tell
I'm
us,
thinking-
Professor.
So I'm thinking what happens in the video is that a person is consumed by the misery. The misery does consume the person, but the person realizes at the very end that the only way out of it is to allow other people into your life. Doesn't actually do it, because we see that at the end actually has died, but does have that realization, and the soul still receives apotheosis. So like in Greek literature, whenever someone dies, to reach apotheosis is to ascend into the stars and become a constellation.
Okay.
But we actually see the soul ascend into the stars and become a constellation at the end, hand in hand with the person that they should have reached out for.
What do you feel is the fox's role in the story? Is it just to show also that everything has this life cycle, and or is that parallel to what the human character is doing or not?
I'm spitballing here. I think it's our narrator.
Yes, I was going to say that. We're seeing the story through the eyes of the fox, potentially.
Yeah, that was my idea as well, is that the only way that we're getting this relayed to us is the fox is relaying it to us.
Anyway,
Is it nature itself is relaying it to us?
Yeah. I mean, that is something that you use in narrative storytelling. Is the how are you telling this story? You know?
Right.
Who is your narrator?
Where's your viewpoint?
storyteller?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
exactly. And you if you can work out that, is that where's the angle? Where are you telling the story from?
Have they released any other videos yet?
They have released videos for every track on this album.
And I haven't seen them obviously, but stylistically, do they look anything like this?
Wildly different.
That's what I was wondering.
Wildly different. So the first, I think, 3 tracks are similar setups in that it's the band, and then there are directors that have done. Tim Saccatini, is that right?
Yeah.
Tim Saccatini has done like some really stylistic stuff, almost like Soundgarden-esque Black Hole Sun stuff.
Okay.
So these really cosmic imagery and stuff like
And
that.
they're playing, and it's
Yeah.
like superimposing on each other and stuff.
And then there have been a couple of other anime ones, and then this is the only one that's really traditional animation.
Okay.
The other ones have been done by like dyed-in-the-wool anime folks from like Japan and stuff.
Okay.
So this one's wildly different. Yeah.
I would have, like I said, I almost in my mind was picturing that this was going to be black and white footage of the band jamming, but then there was going to be another backstory behind it that was going to be some human guy, and whether it was a love interest or drugs or something like that. That's what I totally expected it to be. And this was
Nothing.
Yeah.
You were expecting Mama Knows one from
Maybe.
Reloaded.
Okay.
Where Hetfield's in the back of the car and it's showing stuff screening behind him. But yeah, they went with a totally different direction to this.
I think it's really refreshing when you see a music video which doesn't feature the band. You know, where they've taken it, because I've directed a few of these, and it's always very easy to just save some money, save some time, save some complexity by just cutting away to the band doing their thing.
Sure.
You know, in a setup, and then you can do a bit of story, a bit of band, bit of story. But if you've got the guts to go just with the story,
Yep.
you know, then you're into a whole kind of, you know, you make it a short movie.
Sure. Well, and that's one of the things that we've talked about a lot on the channel is that a lot of music videos have the potential to be separate pieces of art. So not only elevate the original song, but become separate pieces of art in and of themselves.
Yes, it's almost like, you know, you can take it that, yes, it is a music video, the video is in support of the music, but couldn't it be the other way around? Couldn't it be that this is a film with music that happens to be Metallica?
I completely agree.
And it's, in my view, I think, not being familiar with the song or the video, seeing them both at the same time, it's like 50-50. It's a piece. It's a film.
Completely agree.
I'm going to give my little 30-second spiel on the song, particularly the lyrics. Misery, she needs me, but I need her more, da-da. Part of me is thinking maybe all of that baggage, that's what makes you who you are as an artist. I'm thinking of like Lorca and Duende.
Oh, yeah.
And the artist has to suffer in order to be truly creative. I don't know. But I wonder if Hetfield's like, all of this shit that I've been through, that's made me the musician that I am now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like set the style and all that. I don't know.
I think you're probably right.
Maybe. Who knows?
Wow. Well, folks, Let us know in the comments what you think about this one. I think all of us were really just kind of blown away by it.
Yes.
I'm going to have to watch it another 50 times with beverages to figure out what the hell we just saw. Please make sure you check out Divine Canines' website. Make sure if you're in the Austin, San Antonio, even just surrounding area, you come out to Barks for Beers. And if you're not, go to their website and donate some money. We know you got it.
That's
and
right.
help folks out.
Thank you.
Mike, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Neil, thank you for being
It
here.
was an absolute pleasure.
Ricky, thank you for being here.
Of course, bro.
Just like always.
Yes.
Folks, take care of yourselves. We'll see you soon.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey there, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. The outro is typically where I tell you to subscribe to the channel and go to the Patreon, all that stuff. But today, I instead want to tell you, make sure you visit Divine Canines. They are a fantastic organization here in Austin, Texas, providing therapy dogs to in-need folks here in the Austin metro area. And they desperately need folks' support. So if you're in town for Barks for Beers, please make sure that you go. It's a great time. The breweries are fantastic. The beer is even better, and all of your money goes to a great cause. But if you don't live in the Austin area and you would still like to visit Divine Canines and show them your support, they would certainly appreciate it. They can always use as many donations as they can get. So I'll put the information for Divine Canines in the description here. Please go and check out their website. They've got a lot of really cool things that they're doing here in the Austin area. Also, make sure you visit Neil's website. Neil Monaghan is a filmmaker in London. He's a fantastic filmmaker. And in fact, we reacted to one of the music videos that he directed. Hasn't gone out yet. When it has, I'll put a link to it right there. But Neil's a filmmaker in his own right. He's got a website. He's got a YouTube where you can go see all of his stuff. All of his description, all of his information is in the video description as well. So please make sure you support the folks that come and appear on the channel. Again, we hope you enjoyed this reaction. We hope you had fun. Take care of yourselves, folks, and we'll see you soon.